This is the 034 Motorsport live chat.
Yep, I think it is. That's what we're here for.
We're just getting going.
Go teach it.
Yeah, the goatsy chat.
Next week.
Yeah, I'm off next week, so you.
You're off next week?
Yeah, wait.
Oh, that's a big one.
Next week or what?
I think I'm gonna be off next week too.
Perfect.
I'm Javad Shadzi, and this is Nate Stewart, and we're here to answer all your hot and burning questions about 034 Motorsport product services, including all general automotive questions, very controversial questions if you'd like us to weigh in on age-old debates nobody can solve. We'll be happy to solve them right here on the air, live in front of you. We have a no BS approach to how we answer questions, and we like to try to either have opinions or back them up with scientifically founded information when possible. We're moving away from ETA update questions, so if you ask a kind of a ETA, when's this going to be available type question, probably won't answer it. Because literally
we talk a lot about what we're working with already, and setting ETAs and giving you guys drop dead dates and things. It's kind of that means we would have to either just force some processes through to make sure we hit some dates, some arbitrary dates, or we let the engineering process happen that it's supposed to, and our testing and validation and whatnot can happen at the pace that it needs to make sure we get you guys the best products we can.
Yeah, I mean, this could literally turn into an hour of ETA updates.
And then there's that. Nobody wants to sit here
because that's what it kind of gets into.
Yeah.
And then the more ETAs we give, the more ETAs people want. And, so we're still doing it, but we're just being more measured about it. So you put your questions into whatever browser, social media thingy you're in. So Instagram, YouTube, or Facebook's. And we will be able to weigh in. So,
and spamming the same question over and over, it's probably not going to get you highlighted.
You can do that, but
we've got questions coming in from 3 different platforms plus stuff left over from our previous talks. So we are trying to get to everything we can.
There's some questions from last week. We could touch on a few of those. This is a S4 B9 Stage 1 ECU, a Stage 2 TCU. I think I've been hearing about this. They're experiencing what they believe is a lag between shifts 3 and 4.
A manual shift.
That we've had this feedback from some other customers before.
It's the fastest gear shift of that.
Yeah, it is. It is one of the quickest changing gears.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll maybe we'll have to
hit up
look at that.
You
can always also flash back to the stage 1 or stage 2. So you can flash back to the stage 1 TCU software as a quick check. That is literally bone stock with just some torque limits lifted. All of the shift patterns, shift speeds, and everything are going to be stock. So that's honestly what our support guys are likely to tell you anyway, just to see if it's similar behavior or not. Now, if you do get if you're right at red line and you're grabbing the paddle right as the ECU is about to shift as well, that can trip things up.
Oh, then you get a double shift.
You can either get a double shift or you might. I could see it causing a bit of a delay, I guess, but. Either way, you hit up tuning at 034motorsport.com. Check it out for you.
Yeah. All right. It says someone's asking, you mentioned that you plan to bring an intercooler to market for the B9 S4. Will that be better performing than the Wagner unit? Will it... Sorry, questions are moving on.
Yeah.
Will it have a silver option? We can't speak to the performance yet. We're still in the development phase, and right now we're sourcing a core that is the spec that gives the performance that we would like. The Wagner unit performs very well, so our goal would be to at least match that. And I don't think we will have a silver option. These are pretty easy to paint, unless you're referring to raw.
I think they mean raw, just aluminum.
Well, that would just be raw.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure. We haven't finalized on finishes yet or anything like that. Audi uses aluminum stretch bolts, which require 100% replacement. Are there alternatives instead of using these bolts, or safe limits that allow us to reuse them?
I can't think of anywhere Audi uses an aluminum bolt.
Oh, they do in the transmission.
Yeah,
mounting-
you're right.
the
Yep,
mounting
yep,
flange. No, I would just replace them. I mean, we don't mess with those.
Yeah.
They're obviously to save weight. These cars are very heavy, so they save weight wherever they can. And I don't know, if in some cases it could be, as a breakaway function or something, which I don't understand why. That would be for a transmission mounting flange. But no, just get the Audi. There's only a few in the whole car. And it's not a real common.
Yeah.
You could probably replace it with a steel bolt, and it would just be fine. But I don't know. I can't say for sure.
Yeah,
In some cases, we do recommend to just reuse them if they torque down just fine with blue lock thing. Reuse it once.
Yeah, and
So
aluminum's not a very forgiving material for stretch and yield, so
no,
it's to just replace.
It fatigues. The steel is very good.
Steel stays elastic for a lot longer.
Yeah.
Aluminum.
You can literally build springs.
Right. There's not a lot of aluminum.
But aluminum, there's really no application where aluminum flexes repeatedly.
Yep.
Is asked to flex repeatedly. So, how do you guys see 034 Motorsport in 5 years? Well, that's a good question. I think it'll be very similar to what you see now. We will likely be supporting, the B10 Audi platform when that comes out. We will still be mostly tuning internal combustion engine products. However, I think it'll be safe to say that we will be, well into some electrification tuning. That's our goal, and it's really going to be dependent on how that market develops. Right now, there's a decent number of electric cars on the road, but it's like 1% of all cars or something. I mean, look it up. It's really, really small number. And 99% of all those people are not buying tuning products or interested in tuning products. They bought their electric car for the efficiency or for the environmental reasons or the status or
so as of
save on gas.
As of February, it was just under 1% in the US.
Right. I mean, that's still a very small amount, and I think some estimates I've read is, like in 15 years that could be 5% or maybe 10%. I mean, it's still, you hear a lot of people freaking out. They're going to outlaw internal combustion engines. And,
there's just no fundamental, no feasible way that could happen.
That's a ways out. So I'd like to think that we will be bigger and better with more resources, especially in the engineering departments. More calibrators, more hardware engineers.
Yes, please.
More quality control, more testing, and that as a company we will be more focused on design and engineering, less on shipping and warehousing and those type of logistics, because there's plenty of other people that can do that type of work. But we believe one of the best in the world at designing and engineering and bringing these products to market. Creating the concepts, bringing the products to life, doing the engineering and QC, the validation, and making sure that they're the best products on the market. Anyone can ship a box. Anyone can inventory stuff on shelves. We're perfectly fine at it here currently, but it's not what we're best at. And there's plenty of other companies that do that. So yeah, I think the future is exciting for 034 Motorsport. We've basically doubled in size in the last 3-4 years, and we're still doing really well, and we're very excited about the future. There's some economic uncertainty right now for sure, but I think that's just going to be temporary, and we will continue to seek out opportunities as they come. Thankfully, there's a lot of opportunity out there. Anyone experienced a suspension malfunction warning after getting a flat tire?
I would not be surprised at all.
Yeah,
it depends on the model, but I mean, Yeah, I mean, as soon as you get a flat, that wheel,
Mhm.
there's height sensors on all of the, well, depending on the car, there's height sensors usually at 3 or 4 corners in the car. And that can totally
Everything's
just kind of tilt the
bonkers.
vehicle. It's kind of, yeah, everything's going to go bonkers.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't be surprised at all. We see it on track at times, depending on what we're doing, just because it's
Yeah.
outside of the normal parameters that some
Mhm.
engineer at Audi thought was the extreme.
Mhm.
So-
You hit a berm really hard.
yeah, you bounce off a curbing, or you get a bunch of yaw that
Mm.
the car doesn't quite know why you did that, and all of a sudden
Yeah.
it's because the ground went away or something like that.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Five.
the SQ5 should just be screaming about all of its parameters the whole time you're driving it.
Mhm.
So yep, not surprised at all, but it should clear up. You usually don't even need to hook up a tool to it. You just 2-3 key cycles, and they usually go away.
3.0 T timing chain tensioner opinion. Seems like a lot of people are running across this issue more and more as this platform gets older. Mine included at 80,000.
Yeah, I think they're referring to the chain rattle, like startup rattle. That's
That's just called an Audi.
That's just an Audi. Yeah. It's one of these things. It's across like I think every platform at some point in time on all of their engines. I don't know that I've yet seen a failure due to the rattle.
I haven't heard of it.
It's just obnoxious. I mean, if your tensioner's bad and you're getting out of spec on your cam positions, that's obviously no bueno. But if it's just a momentary, like 1 or 2 second noise as the thing's starting out, I don't think I've heard of a failure yet.
I mean, interesting to see if Audi does anything about it, but
Yeah, I don't know what they spec. I know in my Touareg, for example, when I bought that, it came with a startup wrap. And I scoured forums and things just to make sure it wasn't a thing. And literally almost everybody has it, and there are exactly 0 failures I could find of related to it.
Do you plan on having a turbo inlet for the 2.9 twin turbo RS5 or plan on producing one? Yes, we are working on one. We're currently making sure that it actually flows better than stock. The stock one's pretty good. It can be improved on, but it's not bad. And I think there may be some options on the market that don't actually improve performance very much. So we're going to make sure that it's actually a performance part. Last few months about CREC tuning. Any updates?
Actually, I have an update for you. You might not even know about. Yes, we've been working on it. We actually can now flash these via the server, via our flashing server. So we're going to be in the process of just going through and getting those, polished up a bit and on the server.
So could be relatively soon.
Some progress as of this week.
So good progress.
Yep.
In consideration for the future, would you offer a tune for the Porsche Cayenne Hybrid with 3.0T or 3.0T hybrid packages in general? Does the hybrid setup remove it from options?
The Cayennes have the same supercharger.
It's the mild hybrid, like the C8.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are actually.
No, it's supercharged like over
You're talking the which model are we talking?
Cayenne hybrid.
Cayenne hybrid. Okay.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking Macan.
Cayenne.
Okay.
I mean, just the fact that it's a Cayenne, a Porsche puts it outside of what we really consider.
I don't know on those. That would be then probably the same as the Q7 hybrid in that platform, because those had light hybrids as well. So yeah, no, it's nothing. It's not on our radar.
There's way more stuff that we're going to do before that. For B8, B8.5, 3.0T, do you have any aftermarket solutions for the PCV? We don't. That's something we need to look into.
We'll look into it. Yeah, I mean,
that is an Achilles heel on those cars.
Fresh OEM is the way to go for now.
Yeah,
they do hold up for a while.
Yeah, like at least 50,000 miles. Data logging capability for the 034 Flash Wizard or a separate program for you guys for B9 S4?
We have some basic logging available that we can do for B9 S4 stuff now. We will be rolling out a more comprehensive end user logging suite for those cars.
And
Right now,
will
it's
that be for like tech support troubleshooting? Or
Yes.
yeah,
just like all of our logging stuff is generally it's a it's a tech support and troubleshooting.
Just so there's no confusion. I mean, this isn't like a full featured end user.
Yeah, it's not typically an end user like I don't know software that we're selling you or anything like that.
No. I mean, it's something we've talked about and we've considered, but for the time being, when you hear 034 logging, it's for customer support.
Yep.
If you have a problem with your car, we set you up with the logger so that we can
Yep.
get some insight as to what's going on with your car.
Yep.
RS5 TTE720 tune still in the works. It is. It's not being worked on right now, but it is in our development queue.
Yes.
And up and coming. Are we going to see any parts to go with the head gasket for the B8? Yes, we are working on some more products for that. The head gasket simply was much quicker to do. Some of the other parts we're working.
Yeah, that was an easy one to knock out.
Yeah. Any plans for a B9 catch can? Racingline has said soon for 2 years now. We are working on one. We're very, very far. We're very, very far along in the process. And I think we're just sourcing products currently. I don't have an ETA, but I'm hoping, certainly, hopefully by late summer. I'm not sure what's going on with Racingline or where they're at. I do know they've been working on one, yes. And then we will also have one for the RS5 2.9 as well. What is this? Mario Molliere says, both of you must be jerking of in front of a mirror every morning. What's jerking of? We're jerking of what?
I have no idea.
Oh, was he trying to type off? It's really hard. Okay. Why are we jerking off in front of a mirror every morning?
I'm glad that's what he's thinking about in the morning.
I think he just is jerking off all the time with some of the stuff he posts. So I'd say stop jerking off and go actually get some real data to support your outrageous claims. But that's what we do. I don't think we need to worry about what he says anymore. You can just delete his comments or block him or something. Yes, go ahead. Someone says, awesome stuff, you guys. Thank you. Apparently somebody likes our jerky.
I wish I had time to just
jerk off.
Control. Well, no. Okay, I was gonna go somewhere else.
Oh, okay.
No,
I was
gonna bounce around.
Most people seem to find time for that.
Control other people's discussions.
Yeah, exactly. I don't look at anyone else's Facebook stuff. I'm too busy. Any update on when advanced launch control will be coming to the 5-cylinder DAZA platform?
I don't have any.
This is a matter of
it's just it's a priority thing. The DAZA is a awesome platform, but unfortunately, it's a very low volume platform.
It's low volume, and it's also very crowded.
And it's incredibly overrun with options out there. So we've got a lot of work already done on it, but I don't have a good timeline to give you on that.
Mm-hmm. So, speaking of something really fun and exciting, our fuck inflation sale.
Oh, hey, there you go.
Which again,
I didn't know if we were getting back into the mirrors discussion.
Really fucking sorry if you're offended by the name of our fuck inflation sale. But one of our featured items is our 2.0T Mark 7, Mark 7.5, Golf GTI, Golf R, A3, S3, pretty much most things MQB. P34 Intake. P34 stands for plastic. So all of our P34 intakes are injection molded performance intakes. And here, this P34 in particular uses one of our high flow drop-in filter elements. So this is simply a replacement for stock. And so it goes like that. And then the intake comes with a silicone coupler to go to the factory turbo inlet. But here we have installed one of our high flow turbo inlets, which has been independently verified to be one of the best flowing MQB turbo inlets on the market. And this is all on sale right now during our fuck inflation sale. Something that the reason we brought this intake to market is people were looking for a lower priced, cost effective intake. And the design of this intake is such that the plenum and the connector pipe all are very high flowing, really as high flowing as you can get in that stock space. And then air comes through into the bottom of the air box and flows through this element into the top of the intake. So unlike some aftermarket options that have a big cone filter kind of crammed inside the filter box, air flows through this element. There's no shrouding. So this is actually a nice big flow area, and there's nothing blocking the flow of the air around the filter. So this is a very unshrouded design. It's a closed box intake. You can consider it to be a cold air intake because it draws fresh cold air. And, as cold as this is outside,
Yeah, it's ducted straight to the front of the hood.
From the front radiator support. So these are in stock, ready to ship, and on sale. If you're interested, please check out the site. And there's also hundreds of other products on sale as well, while supplies last. So when inventory levels drop to a certain point, we turn the sale off for these items. The sale in general is still going, but I think we've turned off over 100 products since the sale started. And this is because we don't want to sell out of these products on sale. So if we sell out, we'd like to sell out at regular price. But this allows us to manage our inventory to make sure that we have plenty of stock to go through the summer and into the fall for anyone who'd like to mod their car. All right, someone's asking, can I run your Stage 2 tune on a B9 SQ5 without a downpipe? No. Stage 2, the only purpose of Stage 2 is for a high flow downpipe or test pipe for racing use. There would be no benefit to run a downpipe. To run a factory cat with a Stage 2, you would simply just run the Stage 1 file.
Yep.
And again, we talk about this a lot, but the Stage 1 with an intercooler and intake, it gets you about 80% of the way to Stage 2 power levels. But without compromising the factory emission system on the vehicle. So that's actually a great way to go, and I think for most people we would just recommend Stage 1
Yeah, I mean,
with the intercooler and intake.
Yeah, 2's only there, like you said, for racing stuff, and yeah, you get darn near everything with an optimized Stage 1 setup.
Mm-hmm. Is the rumor true that you are about to start building engine internals for the 3.0T? Yes, we are working on engine internals. These engine internals would support, the current power levels. And I know people aren't blowing up motors left and right or anything, but if you'd like to really build a solid stout motor and not have to worry about running, the maximum boost that you can, and then also to accommodate some future power on the horizon where we could see power levels getting to that point.
Yep.
So we're not going to advocate anyone change any parts that they don't need to or aren't necessary, but these would be parts that would build a very good margin of safety into any motor and maintain the factory OEM reliability of the motor. Does your Stage 2 B9 S4 S5 tune remove the check engine light from running a high flow cat? Currently, our Stage 2 tunes, which are for racing use only, do prevent a check engine light from coming on by the coding that's done. However, if you connect to the ECU with a scan tool, it will say that there's no catalytic converters.
Right.
So it's not tricking it. If an emission tech plugs into your car, they're going to see that there's no high flow cat installed. There's no factory cat installed, and that you have something. You don't have a factory cat, which means you have something that's not smog legal. And this is why we ask people to be careful about running stage 2 because removing your cat it's a federal offense in every state, not just California. You might not, nobody in Montana may enforce it or care, but technically all vehicles in the U.S., unless they're in a sanctioned racing series, need a factory cat installed. Really enjoying your B9 3.0 T Stage 1 intake, lowering springs, sway bar, and the list goes on. Can you give us an update on your wheel lineup, flow form, and other color choices? Yeah, so flow form is coming. We actually got some samples last week, which is very exciting. They're definitely heavier and not as nice as our forged wheels.
They're definitely more flow form.
They're flow form, but for the flow form format, they're going to be as good as anything on the market, or better. In fact, our goal has been to be better than some of the more popular choices on the market. And the beauty of flow form and the compromise is they're not as strong, they're not as light, but you optimize price, and they're like a half to a third of the price. So we will be offering them in 4 colors: satin black, Piper silver, our current anthracite color, which
seems to look good on everything.
I love that color. That's why we chose it. And then bronze for the hipsters out there who want to be like on the cutting edge of cool,
SQ500.
who want to be fire, want to be
lit. Is it lit? Is it lit still? I think that's pretty old.
Who are turned up 100% and drippy. Then we have bronze. Iced out now?
It's iced out. I think that's silked.
Does woke come into this anywhere?
No, that does not exist.
They're probably not very woke. So anyways, that's what's coming. We don't have a release date, but they're coming soon. If you need wheels, I'd recommend, just get on some TikToks for a while, and our wheels will be here before you know it. Let's see. B9 S4, have you ever come across issues with the cams, sprockets, gears? I found out the hard way that they're aluminum and the chain has eaten into them. Not too related, just curious.
Be very suspicious of those being aluminum.
I've never heard about those.
I don't think I haven't personally put my hands on them, so I don't want to say too much, but I would be very surprised if they were actually aluminum. They may be some other alloy that, something terrible happened to them in your motor, but
yeah, I don't know.
I have no idea.
I would be shocked if they were aluminum as well. I could see some part in the system maybe being aluminum, but
I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying I haven't put my hands on them, but we haven't seen any sprocket issues here yet.
Yeah. I'd have to see it. There's no way that it's just like plain aluminum. That would wear out so fast. The good news is this is not a common problem that we've heard of. But I would be interested to learn more. Or if you can send us more information on why you believe they're aluminum.
Mm-hmm.
Mark 7 tune revisions coming. Yes, we are working on those as we speak.
Yep.
Should my actual throttle position read 100% on my B8 S4 when wide open throttle? Stage 2 plus tune, mine reads 75% during wide open throttle.
Nope. No, the percentage is there's a couple of different things going on. It'll read well, actually, I don't know what Stage 2 plus Q. It should read a little more than 75 if memory serves. It'll be in the high 90s typically.
Yeah, 75 seems.
But I don't know if they're looking at pedal position though. Pedal position I think reads around 75. The percentages honestly don't really matter. It's giving you a percentage of a mathematical value. What that actually works out to in the amount of throttle, the blade opening, and then there's also with throttle bodies you get throttle blade shadowing or throttle shaft shadowing. So the amount you open past, like on these, it's about 80%. The blade is kind of in line or is in line with the shaft itself. So there's essentially no additional flow across the throttle blade assembly when you get any more than 80% typically on these.
Yeah.
So there's a couple of things that come into play. So 100% doesn't mean you're getting, or less than 100% doesn't necessarily mean anything.
It's like your garden hose.
limit.
You can keep going.
Yeah,
Doesn't
there's still a shaft that goes through there. So that blade, if it's shadowed by that shaft, you're not going to get any more air across it regardless.
Mhm.
You know, it may affect some turbulence here and there, but these stock, you'll see 80% or so. Tuned, we do open it up a little bit more. So I wouldn't worry about it. But if you have any questions, shoot us we can get a log taken care of and confirm. It sounds like you're probably logging it anyway if you're already looking at that.
Mm-hmm. Can you make a 600 horsepower B8.5 S4? You can get close to crank, right?
We have one in the shop. It's just got a 4-liter in it. I mean,
Oh. Well, yeah, you can put a different.
Yeah, I mean, we've had guys that have already dynoed mid 500 wheel. So I mean,
that's
it's how far do you want to push it?
I mean, I think that's stage 2 plus, and then maybe ported.
Yeah, ported things.
With,
really
super duper
optimized intake and exhaust setup. The right fuel, good conditions. They're already kind of there.
Yeah.
And I mean, these guys are trapping like mid 130s too. So the power's there. I mean, it's yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 550 all day. I think you have to push it a little harder for 600.
Yeah,
but
600 is definitely on the edge right now.
I would say getting into the 650 to 700 is kind of
I mean,
higher.
It's just out of fuel. It's out of a number of things right now. The supercharger, out of air, the supercharger is just unable to move air through it. You can't fool it if you do.
Honestly, it's insane. I mean, people used to say that supercharger was like only rated for like 450 or something.
They thought they could get out of it. Yeah, I
mean, we're so far past.
Factory is 333 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So I mean, we're definitely the fact that we haven't changed the power adder, we're at these levels is pretty insane.
Mm-hmm. Flex fuel E40 for B8.
We talk about this one a bunch too. It is it is likely going to happen at some point. I don't have a definite time frame for you though. And it's one of those things that's we've talked about this before. It's a convenience thing, not necessarily a performance thing. So those generally will take a lower tier to our current engineering efforts, where if it doesn't make the thing go faster, or there's some
features and performance
we're trying to fix or give you a feature for to make things just better, then it's not the same priority. We definitely understand. We know it's nice just to pull up to any old pump and have at it, but it's a compromise we're making.
Any plans to expand your portfolio internationally? Well, we have. Racingline joined our group about 2 years ago, and we are as a group. So 034 is now a division of Euro Motor Parts Group, which Racingline and MP, we're all part of. You can Google this online; it's all out there. And so we are doing more acquisitions as a group and adding more companies all the time. Autohouse AZ joined us last year as well. So, it's exciting to be part of this group of companies where we do everything from performance to weight replacement and everything in between, vintage stuff, restorations, but also, modern, bleeding edge, high performance, Audi, Volkswagen, BMW as well. And there's more exciting add-ons coming in the future. And some of those are international. But as far as 034 Motorsport goes, we have a worldwide network of dealers in virtually every country. You can order 034 Motorsport parts from us or any of our dealers all over the world. I'm not sure who was asking that question or why.
You certainly shouldn't be limited on getting our parts wherever you are right now.
Recently, we handed all of Australia over to one of our dealers, so we no longer sell or ship directly to Australia. But you can buy through VAG Parts in Australia, who has a really big and broad selection of our products in stock, conveniently priced with customs and duties, everything accounted for. And I think they have like a promotion going where you get a free Vegemite if you place an order in the next 2 hours. So, What are your expectations for the MQB EVO platform?
Much.
I mean, it's definitely Evo.
It is an evolution.
Evolution, and there's definitely new products and things that we're doing. It's just not that different.
It is.
Which is good and bad. But currently we are putting our kind of 034 motorsport product line in place for that vehicle. So anything that has been in our product line that fits has been identified or is being identified. And then in some cases we have new products like, for example, our dynamic plus lowering springs for the 8Y and the GTI those will be new parts. We chose not to fit our older parts. They either didn't fit or we believed that we could create a more optimal spring setup there. But in the case of the sway bars, those pretty much all transferred over. So the big thing, which is sort of looming, is tuning.
Yep.
That is a new generation of ECU or a different version of ECU so nobody can tune it currently. Racingline released like a plug-in module that's been very popular that gets more power for the time being. But once we can start tuning those, then the power really opens up, and now you're talking about hybrids, big turbos, things like that coming down as well. Currently running stage 1 with P34 intake and a bunch of stuff.
Thank you.
Suggestion on what I should get next. I know it's a very general question, but anything you think. All right, so he has an intake, trans mounts. This is a B9 S4, rear sway bar, and dynamic plus endlinks, springs, and intercooler.
I don't see inserts on there.
The trans.
I'm
trans
assuming
mount,
that's
okay.
the inserts.
Different cert.
Diff inserts are
You can do the
definitely
diff inserts.
The crack back upper control arms.
Yeah, I was gonna say that probably the biggest, best improvement you can make to handling at this point with the parts you have is our adjustable camber arms for the front, and that will allow you to dial in. I'd recommend like 1 to 1.5 degrees on the street, and you could even go more on track. But that I think was one of the more transformative mods to our B9 S4, and the amount of grip that you get. I mean, it honestly just feels like the difference between regular street tires and our compound tires, just as far as being able to just load up the car and generate G-forces. So that would be a very good mod.
Great.
Yeah, I mean, you can do the front bar if you feel like the car has a little bit more roll than you'd like, although you're going to get the most, dynamic to oversteer handling currently with just the rear bar. I don't know which rear bar you have. We have 2 different ones.
We only sell that.
Well, I guess we only sell that by itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have a good selection of parts already. The wheels, I don't know what you're doing for wheels, but the ZTF forged wheels definitely are lighter and stronger, and you can get more tire into the car with those as well. More tire is always good. But yeah, keep us posted on what you're doing and how you're enjoying the car. It was great to hear. I'm sure it's really fun car.
Mm-hmm.
Intake system for C7A6 3.0T, that's coming. I'd say probably sometime this summer, late summer. But I believe we're well on our way with that. If on stage 3 with TTE but need to flash to stock tune for some reason, can stock boost be run on the TTE710 without issue?
Pretty sure that's been checked. I'll have to follow up on that. But I mean, generally, if you need to flash back to stock, just with any kind of altered performance parts, just don't drive it like.
Yeah, just
be smart about what you're doing. You've got now mismatched hardware for the calibration, so
yeah, this is not the time to go fast and get a bunch of performance. When you're on the wrong tune with the right hardware. vice versa. So
Keep your stock maps. That's me.
Yeah, and then that's a good point.
The maps.
The map sensors are different, so there's a number of things. It's not just a flashback to stock. You got to move some hardware around anyway, but you can certainly drive it around, like a normal person,
yeah, and that's what we would recommend.
without any issue.
Stock.
No, it'll be all unhappy if you do not put your stock map sensors.
So regard, you would have to put stock maps.
Yep.
But no, I mean you can't put a
And if
710 on a car stocked.
Yeah, if there's some reason you need a sort of stock file and you just want to go back to stock load levels and things, we can do a just stock with 4-bar map sensor file. That's but it sounds like you want to go back to stock, so you'd have to swap map sensors as well.
Is it bad for a B8 B8.5 DSG to manually downshift into first gear above idle speed RPM?
I saw this discussion come up on Facebook.
Why would that be bad?
I don't know.
No.
There's somebody chimed in, is like, oh well, I've taken apart a bunch of transmissions, and if you saw what I saw, you'd see that it was terrible. I'm like, well, how did you know that person downshifted into first, and why is that bad?
Was this on the Audi Club Facebook page? Because
that was a whole
flaming
nother
shit
mess.
show.
I saw that too. Ethanol.
Yeah,
Misunderstanding. But I have my transmission in my car is 100 and something thousand miles on it now. I have definitely downshifted into first quite a bit. I don't see any reason not to, other than it's usually not as smooth of a shift, just like it would be when a manual transmission. Downshifting into first is usually a pretty rough experience. But if you have a reason to, sure. I've never consciously thought about not doing it for the safety of the transmission in any way. And yeah, 0 first gear issues to show.
the only thing I can think of is that's some weird holdover, conventional wisdom from
Certainly used to be
days.
a synchro thing.
Like don't in a manual, don't shift from second. So people would be coming up to a stoplight and they go from fourth to third, to second to first. Like just put in neutral and coast and use your brake pads.
That's usually a synchronizer.
Yeah, and shifting into first, is hard on most manual transmissions. So I think that's probably
Maybe that's what it is. But yeah, I've never seen any real proof as to why.
I mean, you don't even control it, right? Like you could just push all the buttons, and the TCU is going to do what is safe. It's not, it's not going to let you hurt it.
The Mark 8 wire phenomenal in first gear downshifts. You do it at 30 miles an hour. It feels butter. It's insane.
Sweet. For B8, B8.5, 3.0T, would it be possible to program flat foot shifting?
Flute foot shifting.
Flute foot.
Flute foot.
Ooh. Is that like a Swedish version of?
Possible, sure. Would it be any faster? I have not really seen any situation where it would actually be faster and worth the effort, especially with a supercharged application.
It's also possibly a great way to destroy your transmission.
Yeah. If you want to talk about things that are potentially rough on
Downshifting the first all you want with a DSG, but flat foot shifting.
Yeah, I mean,
it's doable.
It's doable, sure, because we can, we could lock in a rev limiter at the clutch input. But the problem is that your clutch pedal is not a digital engaged disengaged thing. So when you start pressing it, by the time that switch is engaged, you may or may not be starting to release that clutch already. So your revs may or may not be dipping or not, or that switch may detent just a little too early. So then the engine locks a limiter while it's potentially still accelerating, and you end up with a stutter there. So getting a proper flat foot shift that is actually beneficial and is going to work in every situation it's pretty unreasonable in most production vehicles where you've got a myriad of clutches, pedal travels, and pedal setups, and that kind of thing. And I don't think I've ever seen anyone that's actually gone faster because of it in a normal production car.
Honestly, I'm not sure what the obsession is. So that flat foot shifting comes up so much. I don't know if people are watching YouTube videos and Fast and the Furious or the Fast and the Frivolous. I don't know.
But you saw what happened to their floorboard.
Yeah, I mean, who wants their floorboard because the manifold is daisy? You got to watch out for this stuff.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I don't know. Yeah, it would be interesting. I mean, Nick has that on his 200 on the XP7.
Yeah, with a big old turbo. But,
Yeah,
you know, and that's also a dialed in custom tune. So
yeah, yeah. It's supercharged.
the supercharged
Where there's zero lag.
Yeah, no,
Zero. Like there's negative lag.
I would I would like to see some actual information.
D4A8 facelift question. Will the new 4.0T mount fit on D4? I don't know off the top of my head. We will, when we release products, we do a full analysis on everything that would fit. It's possible, but that's a different chassis.
We could miss things here and there, but that's a totally different chassis. And the way those mount is they're cupped around the actual subframe member that comes up like a cradle. So it's very chassis specific and engine specific even.
And I don't know shit about A8s either.
Yeah, I don't either off the top of my head. So we would have to confirm that. The two of us didn't design those parts, so we'll have to get with the guys that did, see where.
And none of the guys would know either.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe they already validated that it doesn't fit. That's the other thing is like it's a non-exhaustive list of what it doesn't fit.
Yeah, I don't think that's been done yet. But yeah, the point is, we'll see.
Yeah,
it's possible.
We'll make sure they. If you see it pop up on there, then it fits. But if it doesn't, it's hard to say. We can't list everything it doesn't fit.
Have you seen any issues with the N80 valve on B9 3.0T? It's a high pressure purge line code. Some say maybe the N80. I don't know anything about this. I
mean, and the N80 valves, across the board, often,
it's a relatively common
fail. It's not unheard of at all. They can get, debris in them. They just fail.
Yeah, or if your gas cap's not.
Well, then there's that for EVO stuff. I haven't seen it as any kind of a chronic thing. No.
Flex fuel for B9, B9.5, Dynamic Plus soon moved over from EPL, so I'm missing map switching. But flex fuel is coming. That's okay with me. Yeah, the EPL created a lot of expectations in the market, and I think one expectation is that they would stay in business. But we're here, and we just don't have map switching. But we're not going anywhere.
You plug in, and you can
have to use a cable,
and it's much faster than filling up the tank with a different fuel.
I think there's a misconception out there at how difficult it is to flash your car, and it's quite simple actually. Flex fuel is coming. It's something we're working on. We don't have an ETA on that yet. Thankfully, we have full E85 support for that.
Yep.
So,
which I don't think was there with the EPL never had full E85, so you had to blend.
They always had it.
Mm-hmm. Just gone stage 2 on my B9 S4. Really happy with the tune. Awesome. Thank you very much. Good to hear. Any plans to develop your own turbos for stage 3 RS5 platform? Maybe. So this is definitely something we will do for 3.0T S4, which is a very big market. For RS5, there are hybrid options like TTE720. It's a lot of power. Unfortunately, the number of RS5s is maybe like a tenth or less. Maybe 1/20th or 1/50th. I don't know what the actual numbers are, but they're very low.
Let's see if I can find some quick.
That's funny. At every week at 50 minutes into this, my Apple Watch tells me to stand.
Hey.
I'm literally fucking stand. Look,
mine knows I am.
I need to and then it says I'm almost there, and then in
you're 10
more seconds it says you did it. You're actually sitting.
Yeah, you are sitting. I don't know if you figured this out. We are upright.
Stuff.
So we'll have to see. Honestly, I think we I don't know. We'll see. Probably, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, the tempting thing is just to just put all the 3.0T shit on here. Single turbo, because you want 1,000 horsepower,
right? And that's the thing is there's no benefit necessarily to the twin turbo.
There's no benefit to twin turbos. The benefit to twin turbos was a shit show, and it was called sequential turbocharging, where you have two turbos and one smaller and it spools up first, and then it transitions over to a second turbo, which is bigger. If you ever want to read up on what a disaster it was, read up on the Toyota Supra sequential turbocharging system, which was one of the most complex mechanical electrical.
Yeah, they might have jumped the gun there too on that.
It was
technology at the time.
Incredibly difficult and unreliable. It's a great concept, right? But immediately after a couple failed attempts, everybody just started going to twin turbocharging. Twin turbocharging really makes sense on like a V6.
Well, these are parallel turbos, yeah.
Yeah.
Not
They're just twin turbo. They're not sequential twin. I mean, there's a big difference. Twin turbo does not imply sequential.
Yep.
But on a V motor, you have two exhaust manifolds, you have two cylinder heads, and so you just stick a turbo on each side of the motor, and it works perfectly fine. I think from a marketing standpoint, twin turbo is sexier. It's kind of like saying dual overhead cams. Apparently, two is better than one. Maybe we could have Stav verify if that's actually the case.
Yeah,
is two better than one? Actually, one is better than two. That's what I'm saying. This could be a new T-shirt for the Malacca guys. But I'm gonna need some royalties.
$8 for the win.
Single overhead. So, anyways, for the time being, you're gonna have to sell it for like 700 plus horsepower on the RS5 for at least the next year or so. Someone says 034 Motorsport is the best. Thank you. You're the best. No, we appreciate the enthusiasm and feedback. We work really hard to get comments like that, and it's nice to see that.
Yeah, we try our best to earn them.
Someone's asking about the port injection kits for the B8 3.0T. We talk about this a lot.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if you have any comments.
It's more just like to do it right is very difficult. In that you need complete integration with the existing engine controller, which knows nothing about these other injectors you've got on there. So we've developed quite a bit of it. It's not anything that's in a release ready state by any means. It's more just engineering, testing and development. But yeah, to do it correctly, it needs to be integrated with the fueling controller to the ECU, and they have to be able to interoperate seamlessly. Otherwise, you're gonna have a really hard time getting this to work reliably across all of the various conditions that the engine's going to be running in, from going up a mountain to starting in colder temperatures to hotter air intake temperatures, because it's you've been hammering the thing.
Ultimately our goal is to create a different solution.
Well, yeah, different than what's out there for now, and then also if the time comes where it's needed, and which is another thing is we've talked about this before too, is with E40 and the power adders and everything that's available now, it's not really needed. We haven't seen that big of a benefit or really any reason that you would need to put all of that into the engine just to run fully 85. So yeah, it's one of those things where it's kind of a novelty right now for these motors versus a true performance adder.
Yeah. A couple more quick questions. EPL out of business, need a turbo system turbo tune. Well, we'd like to help.
I was just going to ask TS1 or TS2. It looked like TS2.
TS2 at 3.
Is this like a 3.0T B9?
Yes.
We're definitely looking at these turbo options to support. It's not going to be in the next few months, but they are on the list. We're going to do 810 next, and then we have to decide. There was a lot of talk about pure turbos, but it sounds like they're kind of going out of style. Such is life.
Fickle market.
Such is the market. The wind can blow in many directions. which always sucks. I bike about 20 to 30 miles a day, and some days I will literally be in a headwind, and like the wind fucking shifts, and I'm like, okay, good. Once I get to that end of the valley, I get to get the tailwind, and it's a fucking headwind again.
Yeah, I live near one of the bridges on the bay here, and I've biked over the bridge a couple of times, and I swear to God, it's like just 35 mile an hour headwind both ways. I don't understand.
I mean, the air and it's just going like this, just It's a disaster. And this is kind of like how the market is. That was my
More over by the smell.
Well, used.
for the dead bodies. Do you think?
Yeah, we've only had a couple torsos wash up.
Do you think that only a few? Do you think the B9 S4 has more power potential than the B9 RS5 due to size restrictions for turbos in the RS?
Well, it's kind of exactly what we were just talking about. Yeah.
There's nothing about the 3.0T that makes it less, other than the fact that it didn't come in an RS car. It has more displacement, a little bit more, and it has a really nice spot for a turbo right between the V's, which is what the RS5 has too.
The RS5 has also a slightly different cam profile, but we haven't seen that there's any massive differences on that yet.
The advantage is to the RS5 stock to stock. The two RS5 turbos are bigger than the one S4 turbo. But once you start, modifying turbos, then the S4 frankly has the advantage.
It does. Yeah, it's a much simpler package. Usually you're going to have a more efficient setup unless there's a packaging reason you have to do two turbos. You're going to have a more efficient just mechanical system with a single turbo versus two.
I just want to say I fitted the RCO ball joints to my Mk7 Golf R, and it's awesome. Combined with coilovers, it's a different car to drive. Well done. Will you guys support Garrett Turbos and the Mk7 R?
Yep.
Thank you. Great to hear that. I can't agree with you more.
Dude, those things turn into go-karts.
And they're actually on sale right now.
Is this great?
15%?
15%?
15% off.
15?
15% off right now, and it's one of the best handling mods you can do. And it also, corrects the geometry and the roll center of the suspension, so the car will ride better, handle better, go and have less body roll.
Yep. Well, in a more proper camber arc as well.
Mm-hmm.
As you're using your suspension.
Yeah, and it actually makes your profile more visible and bump too. So the benefits really stack up. On sale, 15% off.
All right. And yes, we are going to be doing Garrett Turbo Kit.
Yeah,
as well.
we want to support those. Those are really nice setups. How much E85 can I put in my Stage 1 B8 S4? None.
It's my Stage 1 B8.5 S4.
This is the same question I want to add.
You run our E40 file and you blend to E40 and you can put E40 in it.
But if you're on a 91 tune, you're on 91. If you're on the 93 tune, you're on 93. If you're on the E40 blend file, then you blend it to E40-ish.
Yep. And
that's it. There's nothing more to talk about.
Yep. And your E40 will, you'll like that.
Mm-hmm. It'll be like red wine. I have a B8 2.0 A4 with an intake, downpipe, intercooler, and a Stage 2 E85 tune from you guys. Any suggestions for more power?
Nice. Do you have the TC? We're working on the TCU tune still. We'll have that out. More power.
I mean, the KO4.
Yeah, the KO4 stuff's coming.
We have a KO4 option coming, so that's where the real power would come from. Yeah, you're not going to really make much more power with anything else.
Yeah, the KO4 is nice in that car. That was a great
it's a really
balance.
Nice.
But we had a couple of common KO4 offerings on the market. We wanted to test to make sure we could do a one file fits all.
Yeah,
and which thankfully it does.
We'll be supporting some aftermarket turbos that are replicas of the KO4, but they actually fit.
Gentleman from USP and ECS currently watching.
Oh wow! Hey. Hello guys, ECS
What's
and USP.
I said 0SP, USP.
We were almost out of time.
Thanks for checking
in. Question I wasn't able to answer. What are the benefits to a billet MAF?
Nothing at all.
And nothing because it's made from billet, other than the fact that you can shape a billet into any
shape. You can shape it whatever you can cut it to, but it's there because these are low volume offerings. When we say low volume, we're talking maybe thousands of items, not tens of thousands of items, that kind of thing. So it gives us some flexibility into what we can offer versus doing like an injection molding or a cast piece.
Yeah, it's just because you can do low volume.
There's no.
All right, one more. B9 3.0T. Do you plan on developing different instruments? Yes, we have street density mounts coming very soon. Hang tight in the next month or two.
Yep.
They should be here, and we currently have basically what we would consider a more durable OE replacement with no fluid filling. But it sounds like you want some performance there. Wait for our street density S4 mounts coming soon. The world is waiting on Stage 3 TTE720 for the RS5. Well, not the world. I'd say like
The Stage 3 TTE 720 guys are all waiting.
the world of 17 people who are waiting. Yes, we know. Thank you. We are working on it. We will be working on it. We're not working on it right this second. So, all right. Cheers, everybody. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week, probably in some capacity.
I won't, but we'll figure something out.
Later.
Thanks, guys.